We are at the second annual Degenerate Flame Off in Eugene, Oregon, held at Cornerstone Glass, and I am with none other than Henry, founder of Glass Alchemy, correct?
Glass Alchemy, my wife and I, Susan, and started Glass Alchemy in 1999.
You are one of the people that actually makes the color that us flame workers get to get dirty in our hands with.
That's correct. That's correct. And that's what we've been doing for the last 11 years is melting the glass, form it into rods, and over the years we've then expanded into frits, shards. We're now making tubes, and we make the multicolored tubes, multicolored canes.
Well, you're the only company that I'm aware of that's making precision manufactured color tubing as opposed to hand pulled. Your tubing is unique. You should pitch that.
Yeah, yes, I would say that that's correct. Long time ago, we invested heavily in infrastructure, not just in testing equipment to be able to test the COE and compatibility of the glass, but also we invested in a labor-saving device, I guess, and that is equipment to be able to actually pull the glass. There's 10 employees, 4 of us are family. 3 of the guys who actually work in production have been with us for 9-10 years. And they actually run the machines, they measure the glass constantly, they do all sorts of things. But because they're not physically pulling the glass, they can focus on quality of the glass. And it also allows them to take a break. If a pot is going to take 4 hours to pull, they're not exhausted at 4 hours. They can swap off, switch. And so we get what we think is a very high quality glass.
I've loved everything from you that I've ever got.
And then as we moved into tubing, we were able to adapt that equipment so that we could get a very consistent product. So
it's nice stuff.
Thank you.
I love your frits too. I started, actually the first frit I ever got was Glass Alchemy, and then I ended up losing the only shop that I knew at the time that was selling any supplies. They switched, and I never did find a Crayola red that matches what your frit did.
Well, that's the other thing. For us, quality is always key because Thomas was a lamp worker starting at age 14. I was doing some lamp working. And I recognized right off that the equipment wears out as you crush the glass, and then the materials got in the glass. So we started running it through magnets early on, recognizing that there's trapped metals in there. And over the years, we slowly expanded that magnet system, where at the point in time right now, we have about $18,000 of magnets that the glass falls through and gets cleaned out by as part of the process. So
that's why some of the cheap frit that's out there causes such a bubbly surface. It's
bubbly surface, sometimes spots in the glass, or even cracking issues.
See, like I always say, you get what you pay for. You want good glass. Oh, you got anything else you'd like? I think you should tell the history of your sign.
When we first started Glass Alchemy, we started with images from wood blocks and that sort of thing, and that's you'll see our double dragons and things like this. And so when we created our logo, we looked back in time for the history of glass, and what we discovered was that at one time on the old periodic charts, they had symbols for sand, silica as sand. They also had symbols for silica as a quartz crystal. And the two of those combined used to be the old symbol for glass. So these are not like people think it's GA, but it's actually a V and an inverted V to form the symbol for glass. And then we took the modern G as an abbreviation for glass, probably GL really, but and that's how we created this logo. It's because of the historic roots and because it's stayed with that concept of alchemy. And for us, that whole process of putting raw materials into the cauldron, so to speak, mixing it up, then pulling it back out, it truly was alchemy. Mm-hmm. And then when we hand that over to the artists, what they do with it is a whole new level of alchemy. It's just amazing how you can take a rod and turn it into the end piece that sometimes just, how did you do that? How did you get the shape? How did you get the color? How did you get the design work in it? Zen is an alchemy, so that's what that's all about.
Yep.
So
That's awesome, Henry. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of you that are new to Henry. He's the man behind Glass Alchemy, and check out his colors because they're some of the best on the market.